quitting going?
It's going pretty good.
You'll never
Put it this way. This is full. Put it in this morning. Normally, I'm already breaching the visual.
It's it's get the toothpicks like we talked about.
I did. I used them all weekend.
Well, I mean, did it help you vape less?
It does sometimes, yeah.
With me,
I didn't get the nicotine toothpicks.
Oh, you got to get those.
Yeah, I have just regular ones right now. Well, I haven't bought those yet.
Wish.com.
No.
I saw, let me see if I can find it just to really show you the company you're supporting. I saw, for those listening at home, and I always say, I'll put that up on the screen. Never do. Don't feel like it. Fuck you. It was a Wish advertisement for a little tube that you can put up to your child's genitals when they have to use the bathroom for them to pee in like public areas.
What?
That's real from Wish.com. It's like
and where does it go? Into just to the floor?
Into the tube.
And in the tube. And what do you do with it? You just keep it in there and dispose of it later?
You drink it like a normal person.
That's sick.
Okay. So you just got back from Hulaween. This is your second time going, correct?
Mm-hmm.
To this specific festival.
Mm-hmm.
Was Hulaween last year the very first festival you ever did?
Yes.
Okay. So this holds some sentimental value.
Yep. And it'll be my third time going to a festival this past time, but the last year was my first time.
Which one did you do?
I went to Sunset Music Festival back in March or June.
Where's that?
Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that another EDM one?
Yeah, that one's strictly all EDM. Hulaween has a variation.
Right, because I saw...
It's hosted by
Turn that fucking off. That's fucking disrespectful.
It's hosted by...
Apology accepted.
I'm not saying sorry for that. Okay. It's hosted by the String Cheese Incident. It's a band.
Really?
Yeah. They fucking hosted it last year, every year subsequently, and they hosted it this year too.
Are they like, what kind of band are they?
They're like, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Hippie band.
So like a funk type
kind of like a funk, yeah.
A good vibes band?
Yeah, I never really heard of them until I went last year, so I don't really know what to classify them as, but
they put on...
Good vibes band, that's a good way to put it.
I'd say they probably put on a good festival. There was this dude I was in rehab with who, I don't think he was an addict. He just got busted manufacturing DMT. Like a lot of it. And he seemed kind of fried. And he was like, yeah, once I'm out of here, he might have been there.
He might have.
I don't know
20,000 people went.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's how many people go. The campgrounds are massive.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. Some of the acts are huge. Like you saw, Anderson .Paak, Bass Nectar was there. Those are big-ass names.
Bass Nectar's like... Was he the headliner?
One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, String Cheese is the biggest headliner because they play a set every night. And then Saturday they do 3 sets.
But I feel like they're only the biggest headliner because it's their festival.
Right, naturally. And then,
respect to them.
But then, yeah, you're right. Anderson .Paak and then and the Free Nationals were a big one. And
they are
Bass Nectar was another huge headliner. Seeing Bass Nectar for the first time was fucking crazy. And anyone who listens to this, who listens to, that kind of music, obviously Bass Nectar's been around for quite a bit now. And there's, a lot of people are like, oh, bass heads and whatever, and like the Bass Nectar fans are fucking crazy. Well, I'm telling you now, I don't give a shit what they say. That live show was dope. It was awesome.
Now, where I'm coming from, I would not say I hate electronic music. I hate metal.
Oh, you hate metal. So yeah, well, that's a lot of where this derives from.
I know.
That hard-hitting drum and bass and dubstep. It's very metal.
But
it's rooted in metal.
I don't hate screamo. Because metal to me, overall, I don't like some screamo bands, but I went through a big screamo phase, emo phase, really. And then leaned more alternative, and then I discovered rap and hip hop, and that was it. Still like alternative music, like the other day on like a commercial or something. They had a My Chemical Romance song that kicked on, and I just like melted because I was obsessed with them. I still love them. I'll still listen to their music. I don't classify that as screamo. That's like punk alternative. They were their own thing, anyways. And you got to see them, didn't you?
I saw them open for Green Day.
God damn you! Never got to see them before they.
That was at the Amway.
That's crazy, dude. Now back to my original thing. Metal has like a darker. I know it's not all this, but to me, and this was more like as a little kid when I heard it. Even now, I still get those feelings. You know, sometimes something happens when you're a kid that you just cannot separate. Mm-hmm. Something demonic about it that I don't like. I'm like, and truthfully, I don't like the way it plays in my ears. Like. I'm like, oh, dude, stop it. I hate it.
See, I come from the skating world and like skating at the skate park and like the bowls and shit. Metal was a big popular choice to skate to. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Like shredding the fucking gnar to some metal. Ooh, nothing's better.
I would think more punk would be skating.
I mean, yeah. Me and my friends, we would listen to metal sometimes when we skated.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's, I like that dirty ass electronic music when it.
Yeah.
So then, believe it or not, though, like they had a few of the like you would hate Snails. Snails, like there's a song called "Shake the Ground" that's pretty popular that he has, and it's literally a metal song combined with a dubstep song.
No, not about it. I know. Skrillex. Sonny something is his name. I forget his last name.
Yeah, he came from an emo band first.
From first to last, and I liked that band. I don't not like Skrillex, but my original point was I hate metal. I don't hate electronic music, but so far in my life, I will never go out of my way to listen to it. It might register the same tonalities as metal, just made with a computer. Sometimes it gives me a headache. And I'm also a fucking grandpa to probably go to concerts with. I mean, I get a headache. I don't like loud noises. I don't like being bunched around a bunch of people. But I'd be willing to give electronic music a chance, because where I think you get sold is probably going to one of those live shows.
Yeah, because live is fucking...
There's a reason Skrillex toured 350 dates in a year. Sold out every date.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, really what it comes down to, I think what it's so awesome to hear live is drops. Nothing but drops. It's the build, and then like you never know what it's gonna sound like when that beat fucking drops, and then just to hear the variations of everything is just so dope. That's why I don't like house music.
Because house music just...
It's just
vibing.
It's just like, everyone's just like,
I don't like house music.
It's like, everyone's vibing all, and just it slightly changes a little bit. But what I like about fucking, artists like, like for the instance, the hard hitters that came for the festival was Bass Nectar, obviously. And he's more of just like deep fucking dark drum and bass and shit. But then you had Whipped Cream, who's a chick, and Vampa, who's a chick, and they throw down some nasty shit. And then Snails, and then Peekaboo is really good. Like those guys are it's just so fucking the sound. Like basically why I like it is because it makes me hear sounds in ways I've never heard sounds before.
Okay.
Like the sound engineering is just so good sometimes, and you just have to like the sounds though. If you don't like the sounds, then well, like my favorite artist is Nightmare, and he was there last year. It was the last set we saw for the whole weekend. And I like him because he's trap, and he's dubstep and stuff. But he collabs with so many different people, because he's a producer, really. Mm-hmm. He has a song called "No Coming Down," and it's a rapper on it. I'll have to let you listen. You might like it. And it's this chick who sings the hook and the chorus and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. And you're like, oh, this is Nightmare. Like his song, it's his name accredited to the song. But then he'll throw down some trap, and like his live shows are they're headbanging. And then he has a song, my favorite song of all time, because I like funk, really like funk. I like horns, I like saxophones, trumpets, and all that shit. He has a song with a group called Big Gigantic, which is these two guys. You ever heard of them?
It rings a bell.
I saw them at the Plaza.
Okay.
And they're like funk. They're like electronic funk, you know? Well, they teamed up and did a song, and it's the perfect blend because it's like this funk, it's got the sax and the trumpets and everything, and it's just like got this like 20s like swing feel to it.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden Nightmare has a part where it just like hits really hard, and then the sax like come in every now and then it kind of like goes back to the other way, and then they go together for the third verse, and it's just really good. Like I like that kind of shit.
I could get into that. I could get into real instrumentation mixed in.
That's what you'd probably like Grizz too.
Okay.
Grizz plays the saxophone, and he's like electronic, like festival going artist. But he literally plays the sax live. Like if you go on my Instagram, I have a picture of him like bent over backwards with a saxophone, like a fucking rock star.
There's something badass about a saxophone.
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
I want to talk about this. I don't think you listened to it. Speaking of saxophone, but Kanye on his new album got Kenny G to do a sax solo.
Dude, Kenny G. I have a CD from Kenny G.
Kenny G's the fucking shit. I'll get into Kanye in a little
Reminds me
bit.
of John Bellion getting Quincy Jones on his one song, Ma's Joint. That's probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
That man. I used to be obsessed with Macklemore. I think we've talked about this. We've now that I'm saying it, we've talked about it. And once again, Macklemore kind of fell off for me. Still, I respect him, love him. If he's making the music he wants to make, God bless him. But John Bellion, from his very first mixtape to now he's on like his 4th or 5th project. There's songs that I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this one right now. Like if I'm in the mood to get hype, I'm not going to put on New York Soul.
Yeah,
but it's
for
still
sure.
Amazing. He is just across the board one of, I think, the best artists out there today. And he did a song with Zed, didn't he?
Yeah, he did his own with Zed.
I don't remember it. Was it good?
It wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Zed and stuff. I like Zed's Dead. There's Zed and then there's Zed's Dead.
Yeah, you were telling me about them.
Two different.
Or is it a guy?
Zed is one dude. Zed's Dead is two dudes. But yeah, he did a song with Zed, and I was actually confused. I'm like, Zed? Did Zed's Dead change their name? I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even know Zed was a thing.
Zed's a big guy.
Zed's more famous than Zed's Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, he's way big.
And I only saw half of it. The documentary on Avicii.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, that's was that drug related?
I don't know. I forget.
I forget too. I saw
I didn't
it a
really
while
listen
ago.
to Avicii.
So you're not who's like a
mainstream,
yeah,
probably Bass Nectar.
And he just or they. What about are the Chainsmokers? Would you consider them?
Chainsmokers actually did a song with Nightmare, which I like. But I like that song. I don't like I don't really listen to the Chainsmokers.
So you're an EDM hipster.
Maybe I like
Or you just like
I like
what you like.
headbanging.
Yeah.
I like the fucking dirty drops and shit like that. And I like when shit's collab though. Like I like when it's like epic sounding and dramatic. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like and then it gets nasty. I guess the only way I can describe it, where it's like it tricks you, like the song will trick you, like where it sounds like, oh, it's just a wonderful EDM song, and all of a sudden it fucking drops, and it's like, and it's just so good. Like I love that shit.
Yeah, to me that's
I love the hype. I just love the hype.
We're different. You're a head bang. I'm a head bob. I just want to sit there and like I'll groove, not house groove, just like someone ripping a amazing beat. I could probably go watch a DJ, like a rapper DJ set.
You would probably really like Grizz then, because Grizz is like, I mean, he's got some soulful ass music.
That's yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love like if I can't listen to trap and headbanging 24/7. You know, I got to take a break. You know, it's obviously not something that I can be like waking up first thing in the morning and be like, oh, got to put on my fucking headbanging music. You know, every day. I don't want to get sick of it. But when it comes to that style of electronic music, or when it comes to electronic music, I'd pick that.
Yeah.
Big Wild is an exception, though. Big Wild is not headbanging at all, and I like Big Wild. But he's almost like a composer. It's very like it's almost like a symphony, that the music he makes. And seeing him live was fucking great. He had a live singer.
He
had a
there
live
we go.
band. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these producers, it's weird. It's like it's like they're the star, but they have like a singer and they have a drum player and shit. But they're the ones that you're going to see is the producer guy.
Right. Where I don't agree with traditional old school turntable spinning DJs who vehemently hate on and go against electronic music.
Because there's the cliche of they think they just hit play.
Right.
Which it's true and it's not true. I've noticed it now both times. Now there's some out there who are like Bass Nectar, seamless. The motherfucker can transition and DJ all of his songs.
Is he improvising certain sounds and things on the spot?
He improvised on the spot because Grizz teamed up with another producer who just is getting pretty big right now named Subtronics. Okay. And it's making the rounds in the community, and it's like this song called Grizztronics. And there's this they pretty much made the perfect song for any DJ or producer to like remix and make it their own, because there's this part where it's like, ooh, this shit be hitting different, and then the bass drops. Oh, ooh, this shit be hitting different. It's like, please make a remix on yours. So, ooh, this shit be hitting different. It's different every time. So, Bass Nectar, middle of his set, dropped it, and the way the song is like, bum, 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 bum. So, when you hear it, it's very iconic. You're like, oh, it's Grizztronics. And like, ooh, this shit be hitting different. And then instead of like Grizz and Subtronics sound, Bass Nectar put his sound in right there. And it was a live fucking improvised drop. It was so fucking sick. Because you can see him up there literally going like, on the fucking board, like doing the sounds, because he's going crazy. He's got this long black hair and he's up there just fucking going nuts. And then you got people like Rez, who's a chick who just catapulted into fame. I saw her, and she has good songs. She makes them, but you can tell her DJ skills aren't there yet because she kind of got famous so fast, and she's doing these big shows, and you can kind of just see her up there vibing, not really like fucking with the table as much, you know? So you can, if you pay attention, you can visually see who's good at actually live performing DJing,
right,
and who's not there yet.
Well, I'd imagine the ones who aren't there yet just have to get as hype as they can. Just kind of be a good actor.
And start fucking around and start remixing their shit and start like maybe because then you'll notice a lot of DJs will incorporate other people's songs. Like a lot of the producers, you'll hear like the Bass Nectar example, like it wasn't his song, but he fucking threw it in there and put his spin on it, like all live.
Right.
Because you can't find that song anywhere. That was a live thing.
No, I can have definite respect for that, and I won't hate on the art form itself. Where I first noticed original DJs is what I'll call them, hip hop DJs. Really went after Deadmau5 when he skyrocketed.
Yeah,
to the
he was
top.
one of the first ones to get big too.
And he was actually on Rogan, and then this comedian guy, Russell Peters, who's also a DJ, brought in like a bunch of his DJ friends. Like he heard that Deadmau5 this is when Rogan, he would live stream it. And he was in the neighborhood, he heard it, and he crashed the podcast to come in there and be like, how's it press and play on stage? Like, he was being an asshole to him.
Right.
So, and it just wasn't a good look. It makes the older generation, just kind of reinforces that old head stereotype, just makes it look bad. I think progress in any direction, and I'm talking in regards to music now, should be, just because you don't like it, I mean, I still think it should be respected and embraced.
Well, I can tell you now, as someone who listens to it and then who has seen plenty of live shows now, because even though I've only been in 3 festivals, I've been to Grizz, I've seen Big Gigantic, you know, I'm going to see Nightmare on December 6th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where?
Same place I saw Rez at the Orlando Amphitheater, and where I just saw Louis the Child. It's Central Florida Fairgrounds, off 50. They have an amphitheater out there. It's a huge grass field and a big stage.
Huh. I don't know. I've never even seen that.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. And they have like vendors and shit. It feels like you're at a one-day, like one-set festival type environment.
That's cool.
But it's cool. But now that I've seen a lot of the people I've listened to like on my phone and seen them live, you can tell who's fucking good because the live performance is nothing like the songs. Like they surprise you. Like Big Gigantic got like real wompy and like dirty live, and I'm like, dude, they don't sound like their tracks don't sound like that.
Right.
So you can tell they're up there like live performing and fucking with their shit. Rez is like the only one I've seen who it's like she pretty much just played all her songs. Pretty much. Like a song would end and it'd be like boom. And then another song would start and be like, you know?
Not really transitioning into one another?
No, not really. But like Big Gigantic, it was just nonstop the whole time. Grizz was nonstop the whole time. He had live singers. Like, he played the sax. Like, I don't want to say you can tell who's the fucking real musicians out there. And
well, you can.
You kind of can. You know what I'm saying? Like, Grizz, Big Gigantic, they're musicians, 100%. Because they play fucking horns. But they just so happen to integrate. And someone brought up a good point to me and was saying, like, you got to think those kind of instruments are like they're dying, and it's a good way to like reinvigorate these instruments in today's world, because it's like no one's listening to like smooth jazz in our generation hardly anymore, and like or swing or like these old or all these old like jazz clubs.
Right.
So it's kind of, I think it's cool that they're at least taking those kind of instruments and making them relevant again by meshing it with this kind of music, because they make the circuit. Like Big Gigantic is going to be at Okeechobee Music Festival. You know, I can't fucking wait. And Bass Nectar will be there, like all these different artists. That one's more diverse. I think you'd like that one. Sublime with Rome's going to be there, like the Vampire Weekend, some other random artists.
Oh, Vampire Weekend's good.
Yeah, they're going to be there. Alice in Wonderland is another one. She's great. She's a DJ, and there's a video actually you can watch of her doing this DJ competition. Like, she was a judge on it. And she plays the fucking cello. She'll fucking do the cello live up there, dude. And she's really good.
Arguably the best name in EDM, Alice in Wonderland. That's like the best name.
I know.
Heard.
Alice.
It's excellent.
I know, it's so good.
Shit. What was I gonna say? Don't remember.
I don't know, but yeah, it was all in all. There's pure artistry, you can tell, and then it sucks because like people like Rez, I don't want to hate on them because it took a lot of work to make those songs. For her.
You and I know this is what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
we know hardly even firsthand how fucking difficult it is to produce something by just that computer sitting in front of you.
And her songs are good. Like, I like what she's made. You know, there's two sides to every coin. Like, yeah, you can sit home and make songs all day, but your live show is everything too. Yeah. You know? And it is hard, dude. It's so fucking hard to make those things. It's so fucking hard. I
don't have the patience for it. I've had a couple stints where I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be the next big thing, because I'm like, I can hear cool ass shit in my head. There's just, I can't translate it. I can do a lot of other technical things. I know how to run a podcast. I know how to do blah blah blah. But that's where the respect should be delved out, just across the, like, just on that alone. The fact that you made something that difficult
out of your head from nothing.
Right. From little ones and zeros on a computer. I
know. I mean, I told you, I've dabbled in it. It's not easy. I mean, it took me, I sat behind that fucking computer program for about a month and made like 4 bars of something. And it was, and fucking half of what was on that fucking thing was a plug-in. It was so hard.
Have you tried it anymore?
My computer crashed, remember?
Is it still fucking up?
No. We have a desktop now.
A Mac desktop?
I met someone who uses Ableton on a PC.
Oh, I think it's totally fine to do that.
I'd rather have a Mac, yes.
No, we need to do that series we were talking about where we tried things for a month and just like see how good you can actually get at it. But there's also the fact that we have to live real lives and have real jobs. So.
I know. And the fact that there's just so many other things that we're trying to do.
This all started on the premise of we're going to do as many things as possible, which I think when you and I, like, in times past, we've gotten together, maybe gotten a little overambitious on things. I think it's probably best to just settle in and pour the creative energies. You have your acting.
Which has been neglected lately, man.
Do you think the podcast is helping you neglect it, or was it like...
No. It's definitely the music.
Oh, music festivals?
Or no, just obsessing over the idea of wanting to try and make music.
Still.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. It's like I fucking
Just do it.
I know. I just have to get behind the computer.
Doesn't Sky have you said that she has like a free month of lynda.com?
We don't have it anymore. It's gone.
Just sign up for LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure you can sign up for a free month and cancel. That's what I did.
Oh, nice.
I didn't utilize any of it, but
I mean, the
think
good
you
news
can.
is we have the software, a light version of it permanently. We got the serial number and I have it. So hopefully it's good enough to at least figure out the program decent enough, you know?
I would just say, I mean, just start doing it where I know how to do all this stuff. And it's honestly just because my brother put it in front of me at like 12 years old. And no, I have not consistently done it every single day since I was 12. But I mean, there's something, especially like back when you were a kid, just like that obsessive nature where you would just do something, probably with you with skating. And
Yes, that's what I need.
You could still hop on a skateboard and not look like a total jackass like I would.
No, I can still ride a skateboard very well. I can still kickflip. I can still board slide.
I've seen you skateboard only a couple times. You brought your board, or maybe I had a shitty board in my trunk in that parking lot in Nashville, I think.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, in the parking lot in Nashville. It was cold as shit.
Yeah, we were probably drunk.
Probably.
I think we were definitely drunk.
High on American spirits.
One thing let's talk about Kanye. You didn't listen to the album.
No, but I saw his Times Square billboard, the Jesus one.
I didn't see that.
Or something, man. And it was someone, I saw it somewhere. It's huge, like in Times Square, this fucking giant thing. And it said Kanye, something about Jesus or something.
The album is Jesus is King.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. It said Kanye, Jesus is King, now on Spotify. Just
yeah.
Huge. Does he cuss?
One time he says something like, "This ain't about no damn religion. It's about a intervention," or something like that. He only says like as an emphasis word. It is very gospel.
Is it? Well, you know, Snoop Dogg came out with a gospel album.
It was like a Rasta gospel album.
I got some of the songs. I liked them.
When he was Snoop Lion?
No, Snoop Dogg.
Recently?
Yeah, you haven't seen this?
No.
Oh. I mean, but that's funny because I feel like it's, at least it's not, let me see. Hold on.
With Kanye.
Keep talking about Kanye. I'm going to tell you the album's name real quick.
He got so much. It was, I'm not going to say, yeah, he did get a lot of backlash, but it was like a 50-50 split.
Bible of Love.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, it came out last year.
Okay.
But anyway, keep going.
As far as the album goes, it was a 50-50 split. You either loved it or you hated it. There wasn't someone who was really indifferent about it. Maybe you're the only person.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Probably just because you haven't heard it. Is it my favorite Kanye album ever? No, not by a long shot. However, if you replaced the lyrical content with something you're more used to from him, he's a genius. It's the next big thing. So the persecution of the Christianity on there is really the main reason it's getting hate. Production-wise, it's pretty flawless. It's good. It's still gospel heavy, but he's always kind of had like a gospel influence. I don't
understand. I don't remember Snoop getting any heat for his. It's probably because Kanye likes Trump.
Yeah, 100%. And he did an interview with this guy, Big Boy. He's a icon in the hip hop media realm. And honestly, he's a free man talking. He says, I'm not going to have... I'm trying to think of its exact words. I'm paraphrasing all this. Pretty much, I'm not going to have a white man tell me who I'm going to vote for and where I can do this and where I can do that. And he's free. That's the biggest thing I can describe or I mean, yeah, it's the only way I can describe it.
I love that he said, I'm not going to have a white man tell me, because it's true. It's only white people telling this motherfucker what to do.
Yeah, and
it's hilarious.
The most despicable thing is, and if I catch heat for this, so fucking be it. Sorry. You're seeing black people say, y'all can keep Kanye. He's one of yours now. Like, just how we boil everything down to skin color. Obviously, there's racism in this country. And in one of our very first episodes, we kind of tiptoed through that territory, and I don't necessarily want to dive too deep into it now because a lot of it I'm out of my depth. I'm not going to pretend like I know what it's like to be a black person in America because I'm not one. But just because he's not buying into the mold and the stereotype, he's always been a contrarian. He started with when everybody was wearing baggy pants and the hats that go to the side and big baggy clothes. He was like, fuck that. I'm going to wear Ralph Lauren, like a pink polo and skinny jeans. And then that started the trend. He's always been his own fucking person, and he's still being his own person. But now that it's going against the status quo,
he's getting shit for it.
Everyone's losing their minds. This is still the same guy who said George Bush does not care about black people. And he mentioned that, and he's like, and you know what? I still kind of think it. I don't know. It's just a very interesting time. He's a very polarizing guy. There's very little he could do that would make me not a fan. I didn't really give a fuck about the Taylor Swift stuff because, in all honesty, Beyonce had a better music video than Taylor Swift. Yeah.
I know. I'm with you. I mean, I still like him.
I think
people just say he's crazy. That's all they're like, oh, Kanye's nuts.
Yeah. And
when you ask someone who doesn't really know anything, they just go with the flow and like, oh, well, Kanye's crazy. Everyone knows that. It's like, but is he though?
Yeah. The thing is, it's interesting how when somebody starts saying things that go so against the grain, everybody's like, he needs to be back on his meds. We need to medicate this man. It's like chemically shutting somebody up. Like, sit back in your seat.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad he's so powerful in the entertainment world because you can't really shut him down.
No.
He's too big.
He's a free man.
Yeah. So I'm saying, because like any other level, like lower, you get your ass fucking wiped out.
Where I can understand the confusion. If there's some people out there who are like, I'm not hating on Kanye, I'm just very confused. And he's sort of I would really recommend go watch Kanye West's interview with Big Boy. Came out probably a week or two ago. He admits, he says, just last year, I was the guy singing, "You're such a fucking hoe, I love it." And you know what? I like that song. I like it a lot. He said, so I can fully get why people are looking at me like I'm a fraud. And the one thing I can testify to is when you have a religious experience, Christian or not, sometimes, it was for me for a period of my life, the change is like that. I went from living in Orlando, doing a lot of things that I had never done before, and kind of just living a loser lifestyle is what I'll say. I'm not judging anybody who drinks, smokes pot, whatever. That's, to me, I was not living up to my full potential. And I had a religious revelation of sorts. I wasn't looking for it. It just kind of clicked. And instantly I just went, boom, the other direction. And I can imagine there was times where I was a bit preachy or annoying. And sometimes Kanye, because he's so passionate, I think he can come across a little preachy. But more when he's talking, not in the album so much. People, I mean, the thing is, it's so frustrating that you just hear the word Jesus or God Get that. Why? Why can't you just, why do we praise openly gay musicians and artists who are talking about what they're proud of? Why do we have to chastise somebody for all he's doing is making music about what he loves now?
'Cause the Crusades.
It's just the open contradictions that go on in 2019 are scary to me. Alexis and I, here's a going in a little less Kanye-centric direction. Have you seen the new Netflix movie with Eddie Murphy, Dolomite Is My Name?
No.
Watch it.
Is it good?
Excellent.
Is it like a movie or a documentary?
Movie.
Okay.
He portrays this guy, Rudy Ray Moore, who was a comedian back in like the 70s. And it was just after the time where you would no longer get arrested for what you would say publicly, like on stage. Because at a time, like during The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, have you seen that?
No, I heard it's good, though. You told me.
It's excellent. I think we've talked about this before, but one of the guys in there is Lenny Bruce, who is we talked about this with Adam, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
You'd get arrested for saying fuck on stage. And he got arrested a lot and persecuted a lot for what he would say on stage. And where this Eddie Murphy movie is like set in the 70s, it was still not very accepted, but it's pretty much this guy's story of the industry and everybody tells him no. And he's like, fuck you, I'm doing it anyways. Succeeds, becomes a massive superstar. And it's excellent.
Nice.
But I was talking to my wife. I'm like, are we going to get back to the point where if I go on a rant on this podcast and not harm anybody's life, not make any threats, but say hateful things, and I put it out in the world, are we going to get to the point where I would get arrested? Do you think, I think we're it seems as though we're heading that way. Steven Crowder posted it, but I can't remember. I think it was a Washington Post person, and I've got more Washington Posts to talk about. He proposed hate speech laws that will have real consequences. Obviously, he's just a fucking liberal-ass reporter. But that's scary.
What type of speech?
I don't know. I can try to see it pretty quick. It was something where Crowder tweeted, so we're using free speech to discriminate free speech. I don't know.
Well, oh man. It's interesting because I think back to the argument that Adam was talking about with like how when you say the word, it has no power too much. Do you remember him mentioning that?
Yeah, but are we past that? That's what that Lenny Bruce guy wanted to do. He wanted to say racial or whatever things against everybody. He was a Jewish guy, and I don't even want to say the word. I don't know if you know what that word is.
What does it start with?
K. K-I-K-E-S.
K-I-K-E-S?
Kike.
Oh,
I'm not calling anybody that. I'm just saying the word.
Right.
And that was just one of the examples I'm not going to be able to find this, cited. He would just, for everything. And he says, look, if we just keep saying this and we can laugh about it, then we're not going to go to war over these things.
Mm-hmm.
And to a degree, I agree with that. But I'm not stupid. I can fully see where in 2019, still, that would be a massive problem. We'd get kicked off the map if we tried to start doing that.
Well, didn't you say a video of ours got flagged on Twitter?
I sent the video of us talking about Hotep Jesus to him because I tweeted something at him just as a joke. He's on Twitter a lot.
Right.
Someone said something about, your 15 minutes of fame are up. And he
but to us?
No, to him.
We
don't. No,
I was like, damn, we're getting
someone
fucking,
said that to him.
We're getting fucking impaled from every direction right now.
No, and he was like, they're up. Is there like a machine I can put in some money, get another 15? And he's messing around. And I tweeted to him, I was like, come on our podcast. We can guarantee you at least another minute 30. And he wrote back and just like, haha. And I thought, you know what? We talked about him and I never sent it to him. And I think that might be cool for him to see. So I clipped it up real quick and sent it to him. And in that video, we pretty much, for those who don't know who this guy is, at the end of episode 7, we talk about him, but he's like a political troll. You don't know where he stands. Is he conservative? Is he
the best,
liberal?
The best kind.
Exactly. He's just somebody who goes after everybody. And he trolled a Starbucks employee. He's an African American man. He trolled a Starbucks employee by going in there and demanding, in a respectful way, a free coffee for reparations. And she was like, okay. And it went viral, and he did Rogan, Fox News.
He got the coffee, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. And he's done many other things since. That's not his only claim to fame.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'd be like, let me get my manager.
That's what I would do. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
And if I was the manager, let me call corporate. Starbucks is so left wing.
Oh, I know.
Now they can't kick anybody out. So homeless people, Starbucks is just
so
homeless
you can
camp.
basically go loiter. All right. So anyway,
in the video, when I'm describing him to you, and say he's got no affiliation, he's just who he is, and you said that's perfect. I mean, and you can't really attack him. He's a black guy who can attack both sides. And then I said he got kicked off Instagram. And at the very end, you say along the lines of, see, that's the problem. When you don't conform and fit into their mold, into their box, they fucking get rid of you. And Zack's quote on censorship then got censored on Twitter.
Because they can't have them being exposed. They have to censor you talking about censorship.
When I went to look back at it, because he retweeted it, and for us being a very small podcast,
sensitive content.
It
Jesus
was cool,
Christ.
and you had to click. Actually, you know what I had to do was go in and change my settings. It said sensitive content. This tweet may contain sensitive content not suitable for your viewing. I was like, huh?
Did we even cuss in the video?
You said fucking.
Maybe.
And I said he's not a dick, or I said something about shit. But, dude, you can put porn on Twitter. You can see a girl getting fisted on Twitter. I'm not kidding. Sometimes you'll be scrolling through your timeline, and if some jackass just decides to retweet a 5 men on one little woman gangbang, it's on there. And I've seen that sometimes, and that doesn't get blocked as sensitive to me.
Here, for your viewing pleasure.
But you saying he's broken out of the molds, a la Kanye West, which he loves him, and it's been great.
Yeah, but you can't censor Kanye.
No. Well, they've tried. What is that? That's already, I know it's their platform. So.
Well, it's funny because I said Instagram.
Yeah, but there's got to be. I mean, there's a happy marriage there.
Oh yeah, with all of them.
They're not on the outside. They're competitors, but they're all having those backroom meetings. I don't trust the fucking Twitter CEO. I will say though, hats off to him. Just a couple days ago, he put it into act that you can no longer do political ads. Pay for political ads on Twitter.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, and now
at least it's hopefully it's across the bar or across everyone.
Yeah, I think it is everybody. It's just political in general. No, what's getting very interesting, mainly with Instagram, is shadow banning. And you know who just had it happen? I'm gonna see if it happened again. Cardi B got shadow banned.
What does that mean?
So, using you as an example, if I follow you a lot of the times, what is on your Instagram feed, not everybody, not all your followers.
Or not all the posts from who you're following will show up.
Correct.
Right.
There's a curated, probably an algorithm.
Well, that's fucked. I want to see everyone's shit.
So do I. And sometimes it's like way out of order. I'll be scrolling, I see something 4 days ago. I'm like, what? Like someone's posting something about a football game and it's a Tuesday. I'm like, what? Why are you posting that now? And I see 4 days ago. I'm like, why did that show up? I want chronological.
Me too.
But where shadow banning goes even deeper is if somebody's like, oh shit, Zack Roundy from the podcast, I want to follow his personal Instagram. I like him. Search Zack Roundy. Doesn't show up. No way they can find you unless they went to, and I think unless they type your URL in directly.
What? So why did Cardi B get shadow banned?
I don't know. She's always saying wild shit.
That's weird, man.
A lot of comedians are getting shadow banned. So much so to the point where Andrew Scholes, I've told you about him, Andrew Santino, Tony Hinchcliffe, Tim Dillon, and I think somebody else, sorry I'm forgetting them, are doing a tour, like the Shadow Band tour, called Shadow Band or something.
Oh, that's cool.
They all got that all happened to them.
How do they know they're getting shadow banned? I guess they just have
people say like, hey man, I'm searching for you.
I can't find you.
You're not there. Yeah, and there's even more. It's a lot of it's comedians because comedians are really the final frontier for true free speech, and
right, that's where they're going to focus their energies on.
But where it's tricky, well, and comedians nowadays are garnering the most power with podcasts. Podcasts are threatening the power to mainstream media.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yes. And like Rogan's numbers dwarf CNN's. It's just a fact. I think he even dwarfs Fox News.
That's crazy for listeners and everything.
Mm-hmm. Dwarfs Fallon. It's the new, and there's podcasts bigger than Joe Rogan too. So, like I think NPR is one of them, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean they're an established network. They were smart to get into the podcast game already. I actually said to my dad one day, like, man, Rush Limbaugh should just say fuck this and go do a podcast. But then he was like, his audience
is too old.
No one knows what.
Yeah, what the hell's a podcast? The hell's a podcast?
Yeah, but I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that. And two, I think he does. I don't think he releases it to Apple Podcasts, but he's got his whole EIB
Well, you see,
network.
what Glenn Beck does is he stays on the radio and he just takes his radio and just puts on a podcast.
Yeah, I think that's smart. There's other radio stations that do that.
Yeah,
or they'll just put their feed on YouTube. Rush is also. Do you think he earns more than Howard Stern at this point still?
Rush Limbaugh?
I think there was a point probably where Howard made more than him.
Let's find out right
Howard's
now.
still fucking rolling in it.
Howard makes like $90 million a year.
Yeah, and I don't know if their net worth is
Howard Stern's net worth is like $600 million.
Because he
how much? Let's
Howard
see.
Stern is
the king of all media.
Is he XM or
Sirius Radio?
Well, now it's Sirius XM. They merged.
Yeah. How much does Rush Limbaugh make? Let's find out. Trusty old Google. He inked a $285 million contract for 8 years, which was renewed in 2008 for another 8 years at $400 million. By 2017, Limbaugh was the second highest paid radio host, second only to Howard Stern.
Damn. Shout out to that man's hustle.
I
retract some of the hate I gave him, and that was episode uno. And it was just because I was listening to something where he was going after podcasters, and I think
he does go after podcasters.
I don't think he understood it at first.
Yeah. He's old school, like Rush, man. He's radio guy.
And if and when his contract is up, and if Howard Stern goes to podcasting, the next day he's the number one podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, because it would be free for everyone.
I'd hope he would do it free.
He probably wouldn't. Well, I don't know.
He's got more money than God. He could he is the king of all media. I'll give you that. He is probably him and Rush. I'll make them combined because they're two different sides of the radio spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
Entertainment, news.
And then political.
Those two are probably, if not the only reason, the 99.9% contributing factor that radio has not died.
Think about it. If they weren't on the air anymore.
Music. Fuck that. I got Spotify.
Because, like, literally, I don't listen to Rush, you know?
I used to when I was driving doing pest control because it was on. That was before I found podcasts. Then I found podcasts and illegally drove with headphones in my ear.
Right? So, but I listened to Howard Stern, like, religiously when I had Sirius. Like, so it's just like, that was, like, the only reason I liked having Sirius radio.
Right.
It was the only reason I liked having Sirius radio because I listen to music on Spotify now. So, that's that.
And isn't there an option where you can just get... you can subscribe to like Howard TV and you can still see everything.
Yeah, you can. You can do that
or
too.
Do you have to have a Sirius membership to get Howard
have
TV?
not. I had a free membership for 2 years, so I don't know. I didn't really look into it. I was just like, fuck it, I have it now. So
yeah, but that's the paywall still.
I mean, Sirius is not. I mean, it could be more, but it's not like the cheapest. I think it's like $100 a year or something.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, really. Because for all the stations you get, it's insane.
Oh yeah, they have a solely dedicated hip hop station, classic rock, heavy metal, probably EDM, anything, jazz.
They have anything
curated to what you want.
Sports,
but
all news.
Where Spotify has them is
you can download the songs
and pick
listen without internet
when you want, like how you want, where you want.
Mm-hmm. I have ad free. Me and Sky pay for a joint account.
There's a deal. It might still be going on. And I'll expose it here. Hopefully no Spotify execs listen to the podcast. If you do, hit me up. There was a promotion going on for if you're a student, you get Spotify, Hulu, and Showtime. Fuck Showtime, by the way. Most useless. We don't ever use it. When I was at rehab, I signed into the Roku on our Showtime. We went to sign into it when I got back, and it was all that softcore porn. They have a whole softcore porn section where they can show like, oh yeah, and boobs are bouncing, but you can't see P and V.
Yeah.
So it's like a towel is covering them. Oh, you're so in there. It was like MILF Attacks 3, all this dumb shit.
MILF Attacks 3.
And my wife's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you doing this? I'm like,
did you download all of this?
For $4.99, you could get those 3 things. Not $4.99 each, just $4.99
for all 3.
And
$5 a month. That's pretty good.
So now we got Hulu and she's
and you got softcore porn,
right? Because I mean, fuck Pornhub. Who likes when they look at porn? Who actually likes seeing a penis and a vagina? I like the story.
I like the tale of how it all came to be. How did they end up here is what I'm concerned about.
I will say porn documentaries are pretty fascinating and sad. Really sad.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. Yo, I want to say something about that censorship one more time. You remember the Facebook ban when they gave the axe to all those different people? It was like Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yes. Okay.
Laura,
and Twitter did it too.
What's her name?
Laura Ingraham?
No. She's got the black hair now.
Tommy Lauren?
No, fucking A, not Tommy Lauren. Oh shit! Hold on. Let me look it up.
With the black
and then
hair?
they banned Louis Farrakhan. Like he was the one. Like
he was the, no pun intended, the sacrificial lamb.
He was. People banned from
because he was talking about literally.
And then Snoop Dogg came on and go, you gonna do my boy Louis Farrakhan like that?
Yo, motherfucker.
It's
Snoop Dizzle Dog in the Hizzy Housey house.
All right, 7 most dangerous accounts. 7. It was Alex Jones.
Of course.
Alex Jones. And then Laura Loomer.
I don't know who that is.
All right, she's a media personality who's been accused of peddling far-right conspiracy theories. She's a Trumpanite. So anyway.
Trumpanite.
So... She has a really ballsy video. I got to give her kudos for doing this. After she got banned from Facebook, she did a video and she went to Facebook HQ into the lobby and was like asking to see someone about her banned account. And like, it's this whole thing. They called the cops on her and had her escorted out and everything.
Damn.
It's pretty good. You should watch it. And she was just like, I'm not getting hostile, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can tell she's definitely like on the right 100%. But nonetheless, like, she went to Facebook and the video she made was just pretty astounding. Like the balls it took to go to the headquarters in the lobby and like not leave until she saw someone, until basically the police told her she was going to leave or she's going to get arrested. It's pretty crazy. Laura Loomer Facebook. Just type that in; it'll pop up.
I will. I'm loving. There's like a not resurgence, just a. I'll call it a resurgence. I don't think surgence is a word. What is that?
It's this damn. I can't stand anymore. There we go.
It's been squeaking. I hope it wasn't picking up on the mic. Of contrarian Twitter is what I'll put it, because right now the status quo is to hate Trump. It's cool, it's fine to hate Trump. If you come out and say fuck Trump, you'll get the retweets. If we just went on a big anti-Trump tirade on this show, it'd probably make us succeed a little better right now.
I know.
But on the flip side of that, there is
I don't want to get it twisted. I'm not no Trumpinite though.
Me either, really. But I'm wanting to be like Hotep Jesus, where you don't know where I stand. I was trying to think of something like totally both sides. I don't know. I can't find what I want to find. There's a girl, Blair White, who is, I believe, transgender. I was just trying to see if that was
Blair White. I think I've heard that.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's very good looking. But
she got a tallywhacker?
I don't know.
Oh. Dude, watch it. Howard Stern does a whole thing called Cocktober, man. They bring in transgenders who decide to keep their cocks, and they have like a fucking pageant.
The first time I ever saw I had a transgender experience was something like E-Bombs World. Remember E-Bombs World?
E-Bombs World, yes, I do.
On dial-up internet, and I was looking at booby pics and things like that, and where you'd click the photo and it would load, and it might have been like a GIF that was designed to do this, because it was so perfect. It was this beautiful, well-chested woman. It could have been Photoshop in hindsight, but it looked too real. Sitting on a gray exercise ball, fully naked, and it was boom, boom, and then like boobs popped up. And you're like, your 10-year-old self is like, probably not 10. You're like, oh yeah, boom, boom, cock, big, the biggest hog you've ever seen in your life. I'm just like, a younger me could not fucking compute what that was. My wires were short circuiting. And that tripped me out. Another, I don't know if that was the first. One time my friend and I looked at porn. I've talked about the first time I looked at porn on this show. It was like a low resolution video, and they were Asian. And they were kind of sexually ambiguous. Looked like it could be short-haired girls that didn't really have much going on with they didn't have big boobs. I mean, essentially.
Okay.
And I'm young during this, and we're watching it, and like they were getting out of a pool together, and there's that music like just playing, and we're like watching, and they are kissing and stuff like that, and then it just cuts to a scene where they're both laying on two twin beds that were like pretty next to each other, just going jerking each other off, and we're like, oh no. Terrifying. I'm not.
Oh my god, dude.
That's when I discovered I liked women, and it wasn't for me.
The fucking internet is cruel.
The early days were very interesting, and there was days even earlier than that. I heard a statistic that trips me out. The searchable internet, what you can go search right now, everything makes up like literally 1% of the actual internet.
Oh, that's creepy. It's like a whole nother world.
The rest of it's just that dark web shit. Here's my question.
How do you even get to the dark web?
Exactly. What the fuck is it? Google that. How do you get to the dark web?
How do I connect to the dark web?
Because that's where you can go buy somebody's femur and drugs and get a hitman all in 15 minutes. I've heard about these like back channels.
There we go. How to get to dark web.
Are you sure you want to do this on your phone?
What exactly, the dark web, what is it exactly and how do you get there? This is a somewhat savant method. You Google it. It's loading.
I'm nervous.
Me too. Here we go.
It's going to crash.
The dark web, what is it what is it exactly and how do you get there? You may have heard of the dark web. It's usually described as the hidden and even dangerous part of the internet where all sorts of shady business takes place. Most internet users won't find themselves on the dark web regularly or at all. This is understandable because some parts of it really aren't safe. If you're curious to find out more, this article will tell you everything you need to know. All right. How do we get to it? An excellent VPN for the dark web. CyberGhost
right.
is a high-quality VPN provider which allows you to protect 7 devices at the same time. They offer strong encryption and an array of extra safety measures to choose from. This makes CyberGhost a great provider to use when you venture onto the dark web. Mm-hmm. CyberGhost currently offers a very good deal to protect and anonymize all of your internet traffic for less than $3,500 per month. And that might be it's a comma, but it might be a period. I'm not sure.
Is this a European website, like 3,500?
Pounds are close. It's a dollar symbol, 3,50. It might be a typo.
Okay. That might mean 350.
This comes with a 45-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free and ask for your money back if you aren't content. Oh, yeah. No, that's right. $2.75 per month.
Okay.
The surface web is what we use every day. It's accessible through regular search engines like Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. The deep web is the part of the internet that houses very specific information. Most of us won't have access to this information, and it isn't accessible through search engines either. Mostly these are pages and databases that are only meant for a certain group of people within an organization. In order to get access, you need to know the exact web address, URL. In some cases, you need a password as well. Examples of pages on the deep web are some university library databases, reports and journals that only subscribers have access to, and the timeline of your private Facebook account. Well, that's fucking comforting. The last layer of the internet, that means that my old Facebook's probably never got deleted. The last layer of the internet is the dark web. It's more difficult to reach than the surface or deep web since it's only accessible through special browsers such as the Tor browser. The dark web is the unregulated part of the internet. No organization, business, or government is in charge of it or able to apply rules. This is exactly the reason why the dark web is commonly associated with illegal practices. It's impossible to reach the dark web through a normal browser, and even in the Tor browser, you won't be able to find any dark websites ending in .com or .org. Instead, URLs usually consist of a random mix of letters and numbers and end in .onion. Moreover, the URLs of websites on the darknet change regularly. Before moving on to the kinds of websites you'll find on the dark web, we'll first explain a little bit more about Tor. Oh, man, this is fucking crazy.
So pretty much
blockchain is a thing.
You've heard of that.
Yeah, it's an underlying technology of Bitcoin. It functions as a public ledger to ensure compliance across its users. It theoretically eliminates the need for private banks. BTC, ClearNet.
Yeah, Bitcoin has completely changed the game when it comes to dark web, I'm sure, because
it's
like invisible currency.
Yeah.
That Hotep Jesus talks a lot about Bitcoin.
Right here, this is interesting. Red rooms are the favorite myth of the dark web. Many people claim that these types of websites exist where a number of people pay a fee, gain access to a live stream where there is a torturer and a victim. The paid visitors of the stream would then be able to order the torturer into acting out any deprived desires the streamers might have. Thankfully, to this, no actual report of verified red room has ever come in. As far as we know, red rooms are depraved fantasies rather than morbid realities.
No, that's got to exist.
Silk Road. This was the original success story of the dark web. An ambitious and clever young man set up a completely free market economy with the exception of cruel things like slavery, murder, identity theft, and so on for people to compete in. It was shut down in 2013. Tails stands for the, I don't even know how to say that, incognito live stream. This is a live version of Linux that helps you install the OS on some device or other. Tor, the onion router. This is the protocol with which you are able to arrive at an anonymous network. So that's like the key to get to it. And then VPN, this is short for virtual private network. The website has an entire section dedicated to explaining VPNs here. Damn, that's fuck. Oh, why did it even come to an existence? I don't know. It's a lot to read right there. But anyway, you get the fucking idea. That's so fucking nuts.
You've got to have very specific back channels to get to the dark web. The deep web thing makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I couldn't just type in the exact URL of your Facebook timeline and get it. I'd have to then have a password and log in. That makes sense.
Oh, right. Okay, so, right.
Here's something.
So technically you're in the deep web once you've logged into your Facebook account.
Deep web, not dark
deep web.
Depends on what you follow if it's dark. When Twitter was like, change your settings to see this content, I then just kind of was toying around in the settings, like, what else is there? Because it was one of them. I changed my Twitter to the Somewhat Savants Twitter. Excuse me. And one of the settings was like, don't allow messages from anybody who doesn't follow you. I'm like, oh, people can fucking message me if they want to, us. And so I was changing stuff like that. And I clicked on personalization and data, which data is the new fucking dollar nowadays. Your info. And here's one that is automatically checked for you, just like sensitive content is automatically checked, which I guess I don't disagree with that, but don't show me porn and then censor us talking about censorship.
Right.
I don't want to see a fist in a pussy. I'm going to say it. Pussy. And
not proud of it, but I'm going to say it.
I don't know what that's from.
I don't need it.
Okay. One thing that's automatically checked is share your data with Twitter's business partners. This setting lets Twitter share non-public data such as content you've seen and your interests with certain business partners for uses like ads or brand marketing. Uses like that. What else is that fucking used for? So pretty much when you sign up for Twitter, I'm sure it's in that terms and aglements that everyone's like, yes, I read it.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know, and now I'm checking that as no, how easy it is for somebody to just slip in and by signing up for this, we own your firstborn child type of shit.
I know.
You have to have a fucking law degree to read that and really break it down for what it is. There's so much sneaky shit that goes on contractually. I know at this point, everybody is fully aware of what you search will show up as ads. And because that's become so normalized, we're like, whatever. Like, I search it. I've heard some people say, like, well, it's kind of nice. It's like, oh, I got to buy that. I don't have to search for it. I don't fucking like that.
I don't either, man. Just the device is always fucking watching you.
I went, well, and there's the other one people know that gets crazier, but this is just the very predictable surface level one. I was searching, at first there was some sort of CBD cream, like you rub it on for like muscle aches. And I looked it up, and then literally 10 seconds, not 10 seconds, that same internet sitting, I went to Instagram just scrolling, that ad popped up. And I'm just like, that doesn't sit right with me. But the one that's been proven time and time again that nobody seems to fucking address in the higher ups, the ones that should be addressing it, is you and I are talking. I'm trying to think of something we've never would have searched before, like horse antibiotics.
It'll pop up.
It will fucking pop up.
It's happened twice to me. It was once about dash cams. Never once did I search for dash cams. I got one as a gift, and I was trying to explain to someone the type I had. Ad on Instagram, same exact one popped up. And then, believe it or not, Adderall. I was talking about Adderall one time, and I got an ad for some sort of pill that's like Adderall that mimics it or something. That's like legal to buy online. That came up.
That's not fucking cool.
Oh yeah, dude. That's like all those fucking toys like Alexa and all that shit. They listen constantly, and that's come out that they admitted like the thing, even when it's off, it's still listening because it has to turn on when you say Alexa. And like, do you remember that story about the crime scene at the house?
The dude in the hot tub?
Dude in the hot tub. And they were trying to like break into the cops and be like, well, the only thing that was there that could have hurt is this fucking Alexa. And like, I think Amazon was like resistant to like.
Did they eventually let him?
I don't remember how that story played out, but.
Nor do I. But
that was insane.
There was either with the Boston bombers or the Manchester bomber or the Las Vegas shooter. It was a mass killing tragedy that the FBI, I'm pretty sure, wanted to get into this dude's iCloud or get into his iPhone records, his Apple records. And I will say Apple was like, no fucking way.
I remember that.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
At what point? Because of course you're like, I want to do everything we can to catch this motherfucker. If there's a little girl who's gone missing and we can find out where she is and get her to her parents alive, because Apple let them like go into that info and see he's here. Let's get him.
See, and a part of me though, is it because there's something in there Apple doesn't want them to find? That maybe that they're up to no good doing within our records?
That very well could be happening.
Because that's another thing too. These companies are super powerful. You think they fucking are our friend? I doubt it. I mean, it's already proven they bug your phone after 2 years so you can get a new one.
They got caught lying about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We don't do that, and then it came out.
So they're probably like, no, we're not. You're not breaking into the cloud because you're going to see shit that we don't want you to see and has nothing to do with this guy's privacy.
I don't like believing. I get tired of the Illuminati, secret society shit. However, some sort of derivative of that has to be going on.
Oh, yeah. And actually, this is segueing into a perfect third topic.
I like how you're thinking about it in terms of topics. We're going to go EDM music.
Censorship.
Epstein.